What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel and welcome to yet another build guide for Remnant 2. This time featuring the third and hopefully not final DLC, The Dark Horizon. This will require items from said DLC, so if you do not have the DLC, I'm pretty sure you can't do this. But anyway, let's get into it. What is the goal for this build? I wanted kind of a comfy build involving the Warden and the Engineer. The main idea why I wanted to do this is because I wanted to do one with Nerudian tech. Doesn't matter. So this is not going to be a damage-based setup. It's more going to be for, like, say, utility or, I don't know, uptime for your skills. In this case being the combat drone, and any heavy weapon works, but I'll explain why some might be better than the Vulcan, at least until the next patch. If the game has been patched, then ignore what I just said, because the Vulcan will probably work properly from there. Anyway, let's get into an example of why I'm kind of enjoying this build. So I was tinkering around with this yesterday to try and get as much uptime as I could, conceivably, with the equipment that I have. There's undoubtedly going to be better combinations that you can utilize. I could definitely push the cooldown further, which would increase the uptime of the combat drone, but that would also be sacrificing just a little bit of damage. Anyway, let's get into this so you guys can see an example of the drone itself, and how fast it can fire, or rather, how long it can fire an uninterrupted kind of a attack. Anyway, whatever. While I was running this, and I turned down the volume of the in-game for this just so you guys didn't have to constantly hear the turret shooting all the time. But anyway, when I was testing this yesterday with a stopwatch, I was probably running this build for, I don't know, an hour and a half. I was trying to get it all figured out. But I clocked in the combat drone's uptime to about 2.5 minutes. And then it will enter recharge mode, what's that mode called again? It's idle, dormant. When it goes dormant, which is not the same as stowed. They're two separate things. When it's dormant, it still stays attached to whoever you assigned it to. By default, it's on you. Stowed means you're actually deactivating the skill and it's no longer giving you the bonuses. The bonuses that I'm talking about are this one right here for the warded targets. So yeah, this one specifically increases your fire rate and total melee speed by 10% and decreases firearm charge time by 10%. But if you stow the drone, these bonuses will go away. So anyway, this build's got about 2.5 minutes of uptime on the drone with a 25-second refill of the drone's energy stores. So, one thing I want to get into before we get into like the items and stuff is a weird interaction that happens with the turret and the drone. If you have the turret and the drone both targeting the same enemy, the turret will actually have a reduced and, well, quite frankly, bugged rate of fire. I'll show that off here in a minute. Once the combat drone starts to recharge, you can see how long it takes for the actual recharge to fully complete and then start firing again. As I stated earlier, it's about 25 seconds. This, from my testing, this is pretty much the fastest I could get it without, completely nerfing my damage. So, it should be about 25 minutes from the last time, or 25 seconds from the last time it fired, in order to do that. And once this fills up, I'll show you that weird thing that's happening with the turrets, which I'm hoping will get fixed in the either this upcoming patch or the next patch. I don't know when it's going to actually go live. Oh yeah, another thing I wanted to test. Hang on a second. Oh, no, put that back. Yeah, another thing I wanted to test real quick, before we actually get into this. Hang on one second. I'm gonna check the soul length. Watch my health down there. Because some people were reporting that it doesn't regenerate your health. but it does. Not a lot, as you can see, but it is regenerating health. Just like I said, at a very slow rate. Let's go ahead and put you away real quick. The energy comes back really quick when you stow it, by the way. So if you don't want to wait that 25 seconds, you can totally do that if you see fit. Let's go back to skill here. I was using the Stargazer. Okay. So let me show you that interaction I was talking about. So we'll go ahead and put the turret down. Now watch the turret and how it's firing. See how it's stopping every burst? It stops in relation to when the combat drone starts its fire burst. Or burst of fire, I suppose. So it's not infinite, and it's not constantly firing. But you can completely do away with this little weakness, I guess, just by aiming at a different target. Now the turret's firing at 100%. Likewise, if I turn back, it's going to start to get interrupted again. Now, one of the upsides to this, or at least one of the things that, you know, isn't a complete negative, is the fact that if the turret is doing what it's doing right now, it will effectively have nearly infinite firing rate, or firing uptime, because in those little pockets right there where it's not shooting, it is actually regenerating energy. So I guess you could look at that as a positive. Personally, I've been running the flamethrower turret because the rate of fire is so slow that most of the time its firing does not coincide with the firing of the drone. It will occasionally, but yeah, it's much less noticeable. Let me put it that way. Let's see if we can catch one getting delayed. Right there. That was a delay in the shot. Not a huge deal. And likewise, if you're aiming somewhere else with the combat drone, you won't have to worry about the delay at all. But yeah, this just kind of helps deal with that issue. So let's go ahead and get into the build. This is the second time I've tried to record this episode. My game crashed the first time. Anyway, let's get into this. I'm running the Warden and the Engineer. Warden is first because it gives you the largest passive bonus for the Prime perk. The Engineer, I'm pretty sure the only thing that it can do for its Prime perk is, let's see, not there. What this does is it can give you infinite ammo for your turrets, but yeah, Prime perk. Holding the skill button will overclock a carried or deployed heavy weapon. Overclocking grants infinite ammo, increased fire rate, and a 25% damage increase for 25 seconds. Now, some people were saying that the drone does get the benefit of this. I don't know if that's actually true or not. We can find out pretty easily, though. Let's find out right now. Okay, so do that. We'll have them shooting at different targets here. So, let's see if it works. That is a no. Does not work for that skill, at least. Still works for the turret, but it's fine. Let's go ahead and put these back real quick. So, doesn't work. So I found the best thing to do is have the Warden in the primary slot. That way, you get a bonus to both your Warden and your Engineer by increasing its energy reserves by 50%. Now, that is pretty important for this build, because the way ammo/energy regeneration is determined is by a percentage and not a flat rate. Therefore, the larger the pool you're trying to regenerate, the more you will regenerate at any given point. So, let's go ahead and get into the actual items here. None of the armor matters. I personally like to go with the Profane Heart because it just gives you innate lifesteal, and I like lifesteal. It also works with one of our rings. As far as the weapons are concerned, it does not matter. I would recommend the repair tool, but yeah, not not necessary at all. Most of the time, you're not going to be running out of energy anyway, so it's a-okay. Let's get into the items. I'm using the Hyperconductor Amulet, which doubles your base skill charges but increases a skill cooldown by 25%. But the important thing and why I'm using this is because it gives you double your energy reserves for the turret and the drone, which, as we stated a little bit ago, the larger the pool that you're trying to regenerate, the more you will regenerate at any given tick. So, I say go with the Hyperconductor. You could go with the Legacy Protocol if you so choose. That will give you more as far as your skill cooldowns are concerned. However, if you do that, from my testing, this setup right now will give you 2.5 minutes of firing from the combat drone, which is nothing to sneeze at. That's pretty good. If you swap this with the Legacy Protocol, though, I think that goes all the way down to like a minute of firing. And I believe it takes 20 seconds for the the activated drone to regenerate its ammo while still being out. If you didn't know, the way that the drone works is you've got, I guess technically four. I guess there's 4 different things you can do with the drone. You can either send it to a target, you can keep it to yourself, or you could stow it and put it away. The 4th thing that the drone can do is it will go dormant after 5 seconds, which will also regenerate energy at a lower rate. But that doesn't matter for this build. So you can pretty much always keep your drone activated, and you won't have to worry about it. Let's swap back here. Okay, so what are we using? Hyperconductor for the amulet for the extra reserves on your turret. We're using the Burden of the Stylist, which will reduce your ammo reserves by 20%. That doesn't matter. But it also increases your mod and skill damage by 15%. You can swap this with, anything else. Like you could swap this with the, where is it? You could swap this with either the Black Pawn Stamp, or you could go with the Shade Stone, if you really want that extra 20, but or that 20% ammo, but that doesn't matter for me, because the ammo doesn't matter. But I would say the other thing you'd probably want to do is it's probably the Black Pawn Stamp. Yeah, that's only if you want to super focus on cooldown, but I don't think it's worth it. I think it's better to have the damage. Okay, from there we're using the Burden of the Stargazer, which reduces your skill cooldowns by 15%, but activating a skill costs 15% health, which it's really not that big a deal. Because we have innate lifesteal, we can regenerate that 15% lickety-split. Yeah, I said lickety-split. Deal with it. Something else that's necessary for this build is the Ring of Ordnance, which you can find on Nerudian as a random world drop. So those purple items you can find laying about. Everything else, I believe, somebody will have to correct me if I'm wrong, but everything else, as far as these rings are concerned, are they're in set locations, or events or whatever. So you don't need to look for a world drop to get these burden rings. But the Ring of Ordnance is, I think it's the one world drop for this build. So yeah, you just got to run through Nerudian a little bit and grab it. It's totally worth getting. Let's see. The Hyperconductor is found in, I believe, Terminus Station in Nerudian, which I might be wrong with that, but I'm pretty sure it's in one of the hidden train compartment areas inside of the moving train. But whatever, you guys can figure that out. After Ring of Ordnance, we've got the Burden of the Rebel, which reduces your relic use speed by 25% and reduces your skill cooldowns by 15%. Again, this doesn't matter because I'm using the Profane Heart. I never end up using my relics at all, so that 25% use speed does not matter. Let's see, I think I already said that weapons don't really matter. Yeah, I did say that, but yeah, repair tool obviously useful, and the monolith I was using as a little bit of extra damage, but more so I was using it for the exposed debuff, which increases damage to targets. It works very well with this. Uh, yeah, armor doesn't matter. Let's go into the traits, shall we? We've of course got barrier and fortify. Those are archetype locked, so it doesn't matter. Kinship, I've got kinship because it's always a good idea. I would highly recommend that everybody run kinship. Very nice. Very, very nice. Let's see, what else have we got here? We've got ammo reserves up to 20%. This is why earlier I said that Burden of the Silas negative didn't matter, because I reduced that to 0 just by having the ammo reserves. But you could swap this for something else. It'd be completely fine. I've got strong back. The only reason why I've got strong back is because that brought me down to a medium dodge instead of a heavy dodge. So that's what I'm using that for. But again, not optimal. It's not required, I suppose I should say. Expertise, however, is required for this build to work exactly like how I've got it. Reduces your skill cooldowns by 20%. Amplitude, it works really well with the monolith mod and I believe the flamethrower projectiles, so that's nice. Blood bond, just damage mitigation. Since your turret does have a health bar, I believe it can activate blood bond. So if it gets hit, if you get hit, whatever, it'll absorb the damage for you, which is very lovely. Bark skin, again, reducing incoming damage, fairly obvious. Siphoner, I love lifesteal. You guys know I like lifesteal. I've got Chakra, which is increasing your mod duration, which I only got specifically for Monolith. Not necessary if you want to go strictly for the skill damage. There you go. That's what I was looking for. Leech, I've got increasing lifesteal efficacy, which it's lifesteal. I don't need to explain that. If you don't have this, you could swap this for anything else you think might be useful. From there, can't scroll down this one. Scroll down. Doesn't matter. From there, we've got Spirit, which that's just innate, so you don't have to worry about that. And then we've also got where is it? We've got Endurance. Endurance of 1. Just because, yeah, innate. I don't like that I can't really scroll down here. I'm pretty sure that doesn't matter. Whatever. Anyway, doesn't matter. Yeah, lifesteal efficacy with Leech. Got Siphoner for the lifesteal. Chakra. I think I mentioned all those ones. And then I've got literally 1 point into Insight because I just had a leftover point. You could put it wherever. If you didn't want to go for Insight, then you could put that in. I don't know. Something else. Maybe Summon Health, I guess, might be an okay pick. But it's 1 point. It's not really going to tip the odds in anybody's favor. Skill duration doesn't matter, which that's okay. But yeah, this is my little comfy Warden Engineer build. It's been working pretty well. I've taken it through the boss rush on the I think I went up to Nightmare difficulty and didn't really have much trouble. This is completely viable in Apocalypse, just so long as you're okay with dodging, because we're not exactly a powerhouse when it comes to defense here with this setup that I've got for my armor and stuff. But yeah, you can figure all that out as you go. Overwrite that. I don't know why it wasn't overridden. Probably because I was using something else. But anyway, yeah, that's my build so far. What's this one? The Dynamic Automator, which is a very cool title. But yeah, if you guys like this one, feel free to hit the like button, leave a comment down below, yada yada yada. You guys know how this stuff works by now. And if you want to see more Remnant guides, one thing I always welcome is suggestions. If you guys have a fun little idea, you know, like another build that I made. Oh yeah, I should also show the fragment too, huh? I've got fire rate, skill critical chance, and skill cooldown. Don't worry about that though; it's not that big a deal. Right. If you guys have any other suggestions for build ideas, you know, stuff you'd like to see from Remnant, let me know. I'd totally be interested in trying them out. I like little unique, not challenge builds, but just specific types of builds. I think the other one that I did a little bit ago wasn't you. Might be you. No, that's my high noon build. Which still works, by the way. I'm pretty sure I made a video on my high noon build, and it still works wonderfully. Man, what the heck was I using? Was I using this? I can't remember. Hang on, let me check something real quick. There was one build I was doing which was primarily focused on ground traps. It's obviously not this one, because I'm using the monolith. Might have been... No, I don't think it was this one. Is it this one? No, that's the monolith still. This is my lifesteal build. I've been experimenting with that a little bit. Was it you? Hang on. This might be the trap-based build I was using. Yeah, it is. Okay, so this one uses the flying bomb trap and the scrap shot to very great effect, which is very nice. But yeah, that's my Warden build, my Warden Engineer build, and I've been having a lot of fun with the new class. It's very, very cool. Yeah, anyway, if you guys liked it, feel free to hit the like button, leave a comment down below, so on and so forth. You guys know how this works at this point. And yeah, I'll see you guys. Make sure you leave me some suggestions for cool build ideas, and I'll give them a crack. I'll see what they, I'll see if I can get something to work and, maybe help out some people. But anyway, you guys all take care. Bye-bye.